Without any further ado, I call upon the first presenter to present the paper. Miss Silva Zukria, the time is yours.
Thank you for the time given to me. Okay, am I audible enough?
Yes.
Okay, thank you for the time given to me. Good morning, all of the committee and all of the friends of this event. Should I join my slide or by committee?
Please share your or your slide.
All right. Assalamualaikum warahmatullahi wabarakatuh. Okay, this time I will presenting my paper entitled The Effect of Microsystem Environment Toward the Student English Achievement in Pesantren-based Junior High School. The first one is about my introduction. It is tells about how English is being difficult for students. Indonesia, English is tough as a foreign language, yet student achievement often remains low. This challenge is even more visible in Pesantren-based Junior High School, where English is only used during classroom instruction, but rarely practiced in daily dormitory life. As students mostly communicate in Javanese or Bahasa Indonesia. Consequently, many students perceive English as a difficult subject and struggle to find its relevance. Drawing on Bronfenbrenner's ecological theory, this study focuses on the microsystem, particularly family, peers, teachers, and school facilities as the closest and most influential factors in shaping student learning outcomes. Given the unique context of pesantren where students live in dormitories with limited parental involvement, the role of teachers, peers, and facilities become even more central. Therefore, this study examines how the microsystem environment influences student English achievement in pesantren-based school. So this is talk about microsystem ecological theory by Bronfenbrenner and how it is effect on student achievement in pesantren. And I have three research questions. The first one is what is the profile of student English achievement in pesantren-based junior high school? The second one is how does the microsystem environment affect students' English achievement? And the last is there a significant influence of the microsystem environment on student English achievement? And for the literature review, I have this is my literature review. The first one is talk about the microsystem. It is the closest environment where students experience daily interaction. It is the most direct and influential level shaping development through family, peers, and school. This is from Bronfenbrenner's. We have family, peers, and school as the key of microsystem environment. And the last, and the research methodology, the first one is I use quantitative correlational design for research design. And for the instrument, I have questionnaire and English examination scores in the shape of documentation and population and sample. This study taken by two schools based pesantren in Salatiga in junior high school. And for the data analysis, I use simple linear regression by SPSS. This is the finding or the result of my paper. For microsystem environment, the minimum score of the student is 45 and the maximum score is 95. While for the English achievement or Y, the minimum score of the student achievement is 40 and the maximum is 80. The conclusion of this finding is students generally had supportive microsystem environment, including family, peers, teachers, and facilities. And then their English achievement was moderate with noticeable variation between low and high achievers. Now, this is my second finding. This is a model summary. The interpretation was microsystem environment significantly predict English achievement. Every 1 point in microsystem can developing 0.37 in English score And microsystem environment explain 12.5% of variance in English achievement. And then the last is supportive family, peers, teacher, and facilities boost students' English outcome. This is about the discussion. I'll read it. This study confirmed Bronfenbrenner's ecological system theory by showing that the macrosystem plays a vital role in shaping student English achievement. In pesantren context, where students live in dormitories with limited direct parental involvement, families remain engaged enough through communication with musrif or usually we call it as wali kamar, to monitor her discipline and academic process. Peers and teachers act as direct influencers, fostering motivation, reducing language anxiety, and encouraging active learning. Meanwhile, supportive school facilities such as libraries, language lab, and conducive classroom provide opportunities for practice, even though English is not commonly used in daily dormitory life. Strengthening this microsystem component as family, peers, teachers, and facilities creates a holistic support system that can foster positive attitude toward English and ultimately improve student English achievement. Now, this is for the conclusion of my paper. The study found that the microsystem, including family, peers, teachers, and school facilities, significantly affects student English achievement in pesantren school, explaining 12.50 of the variance. Teachers were the strongest supportive factors, followed by peers, facilities, and family, or we call it as musrif or wali kamar, while parental involvement remained indirect through musrif communication. Strengthening teacher-student engagement, peer collaboration, and school facilities is essential to create a more conducive environment for improving students' English achievement. That's enough from me. Thank you.
Thank you so much for Miss Silva Zukria for the presentation. I really appreciate it. And now I call upon the second presenter, Mr. Apandi. The time is yours.
Nggak ada suara Pak Pandi.
You're still muted, Pak Wandi.
Okay, sorry. Okay. This I start from the background. The Sekolah Islam Terpadu is educational innovation that combines general and religious curriculum, and also it emerged as a response to dissatisfaction with the national education system, and also the fact the number of Sekolah Islam Terpadu has grown rapidly. And then here the formulation of the problems. The first is what is the teacher's perception of school management, and also what aspect of school management are evaluated by teachers. The concept of school management, such as school-based management, is an approach that provides autonomy to school in improving the quality of education by involving various parties such as parents, government, and society. In my research conducted by using qualitative research method with case study design. Here, the research design used is case study. A case study research design involves an in-depth examination of a single instance or event, such as a person, group, or situation. It allows researchers to explore complex phenomena within their real-life context. This design involves investigating a limited system over time by collecting information from multiple sources. Another finding from Sekolah Islam Terpadu here, the first is a positive perspective about religious and democratic religious leadership that prioritize the commitment to work and democracy, and also open management discussed in weekly briefings so that all stakeholders are informed. And then the principal and administrator are considered highly professional, friendly, and kind. And also the strength from the Sekolah Islam Terpadu is student demonstrate faster comprehension than public school student. And also religious practice are conducted daily or every day, like practice of praying, salat, and etc. And also student potential is developed very well, and the facilities are very adequate due to funding from the foundation and then the BOSS fund. And also create a supportive environment and value gender equality, respect for female teacher, because for male and female student or female school usually in different place. And also there is challenge. The first is about human resources management, frequent change in personnel management, and also curriculum integration can be burdensome for students and teachers. And also homogeneous environment can limit exposure to diverse viewpoints. And then the next about teacher welfare, because teacher salaries often far below the regional minimum wage, even though school fees are relatively high. And then the impact, welfare issues are the main cause of low teacher loyalty and high resignation rates. And then discussion on an implication. There is a gap, paradox between the quality of higher education offered by Sekolah Islam Terpadu and then the welfare of teachers. Teachers' perceptions of management are generally positive, but welfare factors are a critical issue that threatens the sustainability of this quality. And then the implication, Sekolah Islam Terpadu Foundation and management need to re-evaluate the compensation structure and attention to teacher welfare, where teacher welfare is a foundation for maintaining teacher loyalty and performance, will ultimately maintain the quality of Sekolah Islam Terpadu. And in conclusion, Sekolah Islam Terpadu offer a unique and high quality educational experience with the integration of Islamic values in academics. It maintains strength lies in its religious environment, character development, and the educate facilities. The biggest challenge is teacher welfare management, like salaries below the minimum wage, which affect teacher loyalty, and turnover rates are moved to another place. And a recommendation, maybe for there need to be a balance between investment and student policies and teacher welfare. Okay, thank you very much. This is my presentation.
Thank you so much, Mr. Afandi, for the presentation. Now I will call the fourth presenter. Sorry. Now I will call the third presenter, Mr. Umar. The time is yours.
Assalamualaikum warahmatullahi wabarakatuh. Mbak Moderator, is my voice clear?
Waalaikumsalam.
Yes.
Ya. Oke. Mas Fujiono, are you in session 1 or session 2? Session 2 based on the schedule sih Pak. But that's okay. what we call this research examines how English is taught in pesantren, everyone, focusing on the interplay between tradition and modern educational needs. I specifically highlight findings from Buntet Pesantren Darussalam, a semi-modern pesantren that blends classical, what we call classical Islamic studies with formal schooling. My aim is to discuss challenges, propose a solution, and consider the future directions of English learning in this unique educational context. Now we can go to the next slide. The background, pesantren have long been central to Islamic education in Indonesia, preserving religious traditions while shaping students' character. However, in today's globalized world, English proficiency has become essential for broader academic, professional, and dakwah opportunities, of course. The challenge lies in integrating into a system. So the challenge lies in integrating English into a system that is deeply rooted in religious instruction and long-established cultural practices. Okay. Next slide will be talking about the research gap. Most previous studies focus either on general English teaching in Indonesia or on isolated cases of English programs in pesantren. There is still limited research that looks at the systemic factors, such as leadership, curriculum content, and daily culture that determine English learning success in this institution. I mean in the pesantren. This gap is where my study positions itself, aiming to provide a more holistic understanding of the issue. For slide 4, I conclude about the research aim. This study aims to explore how pesantren can integrate English learning effectively without compromising their religious identity. I do this by examining 3 dimensions, 3 big point dimensions, such as structure. I found out about the leadership of the Kiai policy and institutional rules. Related to the second key dimension is the substance, the vision, mission, and curriculum, or the perceptions of the English. And number 3 is the santri culture daily language use in the pesantren. Looking at these dimensions together help us understand the real challenges and opportunities for English instruction in pesantren. So our goal is to propose a model that is both pedagogically sound and culturally resonant. Related to the theoretical framework, I use Lawrence Friedman's legal system theory, okay, which looks at the structure, substance, and culture of framework I adapted to the pesantren education context. This helped me see how leadership, curriculum, and everyday practices all influences English learning. I also draw on communicative language teaching and content-based instruction to frame potential teaching approaches. By combining these theories, we can connect educational methods with the social and cultural realities of pesantren life. Related to the method, I use qualitative descriptive approach to gain an in-depth understanding of the English learning system in the pesantren. The study was conducted at Darussalam Buntet, Cirebon, a semi-modern pesantren that combines classical Islamic studies with formal schooling. Data were collected through observations and interviews with the leaders, kiai in pesantren, teachers, ustadz in pesantren, and students, santri in pesantren. The analysis was guided by the Friedman's framework, allow us to categorize findings under structure, substance, and culture. Findings and on the structure, everybody. In the terms of the structure, the pesantren is fully led by the Kiai, whose authority shapes all aspects of institutional life. The Kiai expresses strong moral support for English learning, recognizing it is the importance of students' future opportunities by mastering the English. However, there are no formal policies that require or regulate English use within the pesantren environment. There are also no designated English-speaking zones or enforcement mechanism to encourage practice. While formal schools under pesantren umbrella develop their own English programs, these efforts are not yet unified at the pesantren-wide level. This means English learning depends largely on individual teacher initiative rather than in institutional mandate. Findings on substance. From the perspective of substance, the pesantren's vision and mission emphasize producing morally upright and knowledgeable students, and they show openness to modern knowledge. However, English is not explicitly stated as a core part of this vision or mission. In practice, English is treated mainly as an academic subject in the formal school, not as an integral element of pesantren education. Most teachers and students view English positively anyway, acknowledging its value for global communication and further studies. Despite this, its status as a supplementary subject often takes a backseat to religious studies as the second option, English, because they focus on the religious studies. Okay, this positioning limits depth and consistency of English exposure across the pesantren's educational activities. Culturally, daily communication among santri is dominated by Indonesia, bahasa Indonesia, Arabics, and local languages. In Cirebon, we call bebasan, with English rarely used in informal interactions. The pesantren's learning culture prioritizes religious study, which naturally centers on Arabic-based materials and discussions. Opportunities to use English mainly arise in extracurricular programs such as English Day and English Club. Students generally show a positive attitude toward these activities, enjoying the chance to practice in a more relaxed setting. The overall rhythm of the pesantren life, with its packed schedule of religious formal classes, leaves limited time for sustained English practice. This makes it challenging for English to become a natural part of everyday communication in the pesantren environment. So the key issues are, the main issue is that English remains peripheral within the pesantren system, both in policy and in daily practice. Without formal structure support, English learning relies heavily on individual teacher initiative and extracurricular programs. Culturally, English has limited symbolic value compared to Arabic, which is directly linked to religious texts and rituals. The packed daily schedule prioritizes religious studies, leaving little room for immersed language activities. These factors combined mean that even motivated students struggle to gain consistent English exposure. Addressing these issues require a model that embeds English learning into pesantren structure, substantive, and cultural framework. So we can come to the discussion. The discussion highlights that Darussalam Buntat Pesantren operates within a hybrid educational model, balancing classical Islamic studies with formal schooling, the use of pagan script and kitab-based learning strengthens Arabic Indonesian literacy but offers little support for communicative English. In this context, English is often perceived as external to the pesantren's core mission, making integration a cultural and pedagogical challenge. One solution is to link English instruction with English content so that language learning aligns with students' religious worldview.
The time is up.
Okay,
Thank
thank
you so
you.
much for your presentation. We will move to the next presenter. Now I will call upon the first next presenter, Mr. Mohammed Najib Al Adib, MED. The time is yours. Sorry, sir, are you there? So I will move to the next presenter. Now I call upon the fifth presenter, Ms. Sari Devi Novianti. Are you there?
Yes, I'm here.
The time is yours.
Okay, thank you, moderator. Let me share my screen. Well, okay, good morning, committee presenters and also participants of ELT 2025. So my name is Sari Dewi Novianti, and today I would like to present my presentation entitled Feedback Strategies for Essays with Islamic Content. So this is a qualitative study of faculty at Islamic Higher Education. I'm going to start my presentation with the research background. So this research started by the acknowledgements of the feedback itself in students' process of improvements in their writing skills. As we know that feedbacks plays a very important role in students' writing skills improvement, since that feedback give information for students and both teachers and students about what students already know and what they need to improve. But sometimes these situations present unique challenge when this feedbacks practice happens in EFLs in the context of Islamic higher educations, when the teachers often to face students' writings incorporating Islamic contents. So the teachers' feelings are not capable and need more effort to give the feedbacks, which actually not too familiar for them as EFL's lectures. So that it questions the capability or capacities of the teachers or lecturers itself, whether the lecturers are capable enough to assess or evaluate religious sensitively writings. So how that, so that this research tried to identify what challenges actually do faculty face when they need to provide feedbacks on students' writing that draws from Islamic content or traditions. And the second one is what strategies that actually they have developed to successfully provide feedbacks for those types of writing. So this research conducted with a qualitative approach, studying 10 faculty members from 3 Islamic higher education institutions with experience 2 to 10 years of teachings. And it's conducted through open-ended questions and interviews, and the analysis conducted by the 6-stage IPA framework with cross case analysis. So the findings reveals that the lecturers found several challenges in providing the feedbacks for EFL students with with the writings incorporating Islamic contents. The first one is the recognitions and verification challenge. So 9 of 10 participants talk about having initial challenges with recognitions and verifications of content in students' work. So the lectures, when the students reverence obscure Islamic scholars or use classical texts, or the lecturer often couldn't determine whether the sources they were using were legitimate or whether they were making false claims with authority. And when students draw on Islamic principles or law, the lecturer lack with the backgrounds of that certain topics, so then they found it really difficult to determine whether the interpretations made by the students were coming from mainstream opinion or minority opinions or just students' own interpretations. And the second challenge is questions of authority and legitimacy. So all the lectures face concerns about questioning their authority actually to assess the Islamic content, since their backgrounds is in EFL lectures with strong with linguistics and linguistic features and structures, but then they need to also actually evaluate those whether those contents is correct or incorrect. So then it questions their authority and legitimacy. So when students, for example, when students made claims about a certain epistemology, so the lecturers had no way to question whether they actually had an authority to claim whether it false or correct. And sometimes students presented also Islamic like a historical narrative, and then it's conflicted with a secular perspective. So the teacher or the lecturers struggles with how then appropriate challenge this two perspective in a balanced way. And the third one is the lecturers found struggling with a rigor and a respect full religious perspective. So the students sometimes made a sweeping generalizing the claims about a certain Islamic perspective on language or society without providing academic evidence or scientific evidence. So, and sometimes students position Islamic values to advance social arguments, but then they difficult to find the balance between providing scientific, academic, and religious perceptions. The confidence and professional identity leverage also become the challenge. So then this research also found that the lectures actually have adaptive pathways and also coping strategies by those struggles. The first one is by doing collaborative consultation networks. So like they have consulted with other lecturers with have theological backgrounds to like having some consultations consulting about whether this perspective, this Quran hadith can be used to can be implemented in certain issues and so on. And of course also digital resources like using research on certain websites, and also the use of AI also help them sometimes to provide feedback for students writing. They also use some print and reference resources like accessing to the library and the campus, and also ebooks to search some reference to support their feedbacks for students writing. Some lectures also like develop their own vocabularies and glossary terms that they will use for the further feedbacks and also teachings to several or certain majors that can help them in the futures. So actually, the discussions then we talk about those collaborative works that have been done by the lecturers actually is a good way to provide them with comprehensive feedback, but then the sustainability and the quality is questions. The use of digital resources sometimes then can raise the questions whether the website is legitimate enough, or the use of AI, which can provide various response based on the prompting, could provide relevant and effective
Sorry,
feedback.
Miss, 2 more minutes.
Okay, so the study actually demonstrate how the religious diversity or religious situations actually sometimes challenge EFL lectures in Islamic higher educations. The collaboration between interdiscipline lectures can be done, but actually there is a need for like formal solutions for them related like the collaborative consultations that provided by the institutions itself. So actually, this research demonstrate a remarkable adaptability and commitments actually despite challenges by the lectures in Islamic higher educations, and the findings provide us where faculty encounter familiar and cultural and religious knowledge traditions in Islamic higher educations, but systematic institutional approaches should be done and should be appeared to actually solving these problems. Actually, as higher education diversifies, I think the institution need to be I don't know, provided some problem solver to solve this challenge, as this Islamic higher education not limit themselves anymore, because we are already represent ourselves as a global citizens also. So that's all from me. Thank you very much. I will give it back to the moderator. Thank you.
Thank you so much for Miss Sari Dewi Novianti for the presentation. And now I'm really sorry. So now I will call upon the fourth semester that become the last presenter is Mr. Mohammed Najib Al Adib, MED. The time is yours.
Sorry Mbak.
Assalamualaikum warahmatullahi wabarakatuh.
Waalaikumsalam warahmatullahi.
Okay. Can you hear my voice clearly?
Yes, I can hear you clearly.
Okay, thank you very much. I'll share my presentation. Okay. My research is about understanding educator perspective, a study of EFL lecturers' belief about intercultural learning in a pesantren-based university. The place of the university is in Wonosobo, Central Java, and we have most of the students of the university are santri of many pesantren around the university, even though the university has its own pesantren. Now, this is the background of the study. English language education in Indonesia, especially in pesantren-based educational institutions, encounters unique challenges and dynamics like what Pak Umar mentioned in the previous presentation. In English language teaching, a lecturer's core belief as an educator influences their approach. From a pedagogical standpoint, gaining insight into EFL lecturers' belief about incorporating intercultural instruction can benefit both the educators and their students. Lecturers' challenges in delivering the cultural concepts often stem from resistance to change and a lack of supporting resources. I think that the case is the same as Pak Umar, I think, in Punta. Next, lecturers' role as facilitators in fostering a supportive environment for intercultural interaction is essential for developing students' intercultural awareness. So this study primarily explores how lecturers' beliefs and experiences shape English language learning in Islamic boarding schools, based university or pesantren-based university, ensuring that education remains relevant
in a rapidly evolving world. So I have reviewed some previous studies, and I think that I can skip it because of the time. Now let's talk about lecturers' beliefs in EFL education. EFL lecturers' beliefs have a significant influence on their teaching methods, particularly in intercultural learning contexts. The development of professional competencies must be congruent with a balanced integration of theory and practice within the field of education. Targeted professional development not only boosts pedagogical capabilities, but also reinforces lecturers' confidence in adopting diverse approaches such as intercultural education in English instruction. The next is about intercultural learning in language instruction. According to Byram in 1997, intercultural communicative competence emphasizes sociocultural competence, viewing learners as incomplete native speakers. Again, we should underline this term, incomplete native speakers, who have varying levels of familiarity with the context in the target language, even though it is regarded as a lingua franca. Developing cross-cultural appreciation and tolerance is also essential for successful intercultural communication. Learners recognize cultural similarities and differences because this is the core element of intercultural learning in foreign language use. In the context of pesantren-based education, as a long-established Islamic educational institution in Indonesia, it has a unique educational approach that integrates academic aspects and religious values. And Pak Umar is very familiar with this. And also Bu Novianti, I think. Incorporating cultural and religious factors play a crucial role in shaping how English is taught in Islamic boarding schools. Incorporating cultural content into lessons enables educators to help students build stronger intercultural communication skills, which are essential in EFL education amid today's interconnected world. The methodology of my research is qualitative methodology. The design is in case study at the pesantren-based university in Wonosobo. The purpose is to explore EFL lecturers' beliefs and practices in intercultural learning. The participants and data collection. The participants is 5 experienced EFL learners, more than 5 years. The interviews are in semi-structured interviews, exploring teaching experiences with culture, views on intercultural competence, challenges in implementation. And then the data collection is also uses focus groups discussion, in which the shared experiences and also shared teaching materials. The data analysis in using thematic analysis method, such as transcription, coding, identifying key themes. The goal is to link findings with literature on lecturers' belief and intercultural communicative competence. The expected outcomes are insights into EFL lecturers' beliefs on intercultural competence, and then to identify best practices in intercultural EFL instruction, and then to strengthen curriculum and pedagogy in pesantren-based universities. The findings are about the teaching methods and techniques. In the research I have found that the teachers or the lecturers were integrating English with Islamic principles and cultural awareness, and then they use Islamic study materials. They combine Aqidah, Hadith, civilization, and English, and then in intercultural and comparative approach, they compare Indonesian or Islamic and English-speaking cultures. They also they tend to create a culturally meaningful environment for Santri because most of the students are Santri, uh, to reduce barriers and also to build confidence of the students. And also they use multimedia like documentaries to link language and culture. And also they believe that English is a tool for global communication and Islamic values transmission.
Sorry, sir, 2 more minutes.
All right. About lecturers' belief about teaching and learning, they blend communicative competence, cultural awareness, autonomy with Islamic values. The aim is to enhance fluency and independence through role play, real world task simulations. Language learning, they ask students to have cultural journey to, and this way they find the identity development and intercultural reflection. They do identity development and intercultural reflection. Uh, they believe that English teaching is a value driven. It's talk about ethics, diversity, and also Islamic identity. They aims to promote critical thinking and dialogue through discussion of cultural issues. The teaching is intercultural, identity driven, and transformative. I have also identified high order thinking skills, and also how they accommodate learning styles. And then in discussion, I explored the belief and I discussed the belief and pedagogical approach of the teachers, and then intercultural and communicative orientations, uh, then high order thinking skills, and then also students' engagement and participation, and the last, accommodating learning styles. The conclusion of the research is in intercultural orientations, language is a culturally rooted practice. Uh, and intercultural orientation is the medium for interaction, identity, negotiation, and critical thinking. In pedagogical practices, they use HOTS. They prioritize HOTS, student engagement, and learning style adaptation.
Sorry, sir,
And then
the time is up.
Okay, thank you very much.
Thank you so much. Thank you so much for Mr. Muhammad Najib Al-Adib MED for the presentation. Ladies and gentlemen, now it is the time for the question and answer session. I give you the time for the audience to ask questions for the presenters. It's also possible for the presenter to ask other presenters. Please keep the question short. This is the time to question and answer session.
I have question to Mr. Umar, yeah.
Yes, Mr. Apandi.
So, where is the boundaries, yeah, between traditional pesantren, semi-modern, and modern pesantren? That's my question, Umar. Thank you.
The difference, Mas.
Yes, how the difference?
Okay.
There are 3 types of pesantren, if I'm not mistaken, Mas Afandi. It is classic. The payment is very cheap, but in Buntet is in the middle between the Salaf, I mean the classic, and the modern one. The modern one is actually quite expensive, Mas. And semi-modern in Cirebon is not really quite expensive. Actually, it is what we call in article, it is explained in the abstract, a semi-modern pesantren that integrates Kitab Kuning with formal education. And of course, there is formal education and the Bisyarah or the, what we call Bisyarah, Pak Najib. Monthly fee. Monthly
Financial
fee.
appreciation.
Yeah, monthly fee for the santri pay to the
Yeah,
pesantren.
monthly fee. Yeah.
Yeah, monthly fee. Itu Pak. So far I know about semi-modern pesantren, modern pesantren, and classical pesantren. And buntut pesantren character is between modern and classical pesantren, Mas Dr. Apandi. Thank you.
Okay, thank you very much, Umar.
Very well.
Okay, I have the next question
For
Mr. Umar.
I see. Siap. Feel free,
Okay,
Pak. Yeah.
thank you. Okay, thank you. My name is Iwan
Okay, sir.
Kurniawan. I am from Win Lampung.
Siap, Pak.
So from the explanation from Mr. Umar before, Mr. Umar said that the decision for teaching English in his pesantren depends on the teacher, not the policy of pesantren.
Yeah,
So
the
why?
finding
My
that way. The
question,
finding, yeah.
yeah, my question, why? I think it is supposed to be the decision of pesantren, yeah. So pesantren should make a rule that every student practice English. If the student do not comply, so there will be a little punishment for them. Yeah, but this is only my suggestion. But my question to Mr. Umar, why there is no policy from the pesantren? This is my question. Thank you.
Yeah, I just, as the researcher, I need to be independent, Pak. What I found in the field, I mean in the pesantren, I must write down. Actually, it is explained on slide 7 related to findings on structure. The pesantren is fully led by the Kiai, Pak, whose authority shapes all aspects of institutional life. The Kiai expresses strong moral support for English learning because the Kiai recognize English importance or it's important for students' future opportunities, whether they want to go to another country to study abroad and to continue postgraduate program, they need English. The Kiai realize it, so that's why the Kiai support English learning, but there are no formal policies, Pak, in the vision and mission of the pesantren.
Okay.
Or regulation, yeah, in the pesantren environment. So that's why English learning depends on individual teacher initiative rather than an institutional mandate. That is what I explained in findings on structure. But anyway, because of that, actually, I haven't finished the slide. In slide 13, recommendation, actually, I propose hybrid pedagogy, Pak. Hybrid pedagogy. The pedagogy combines communicative language teaching with content-based instruction. The form of the communicative language teaching is weak form of CLT, and the CBI context is the content can be drawn from Islamic themes. So Islamic themes here it's not about discipline, honesty, or else. It is universal values, ya Pak. But in the pesantren, I would like to pick some topics from Safinatun Najah, Pak, which is related to a faith, pillar of what we call rukun iman, rukun Islam, Islam pillars, toharo, solat. I would like to pick the topic for the speaking test. Actually, this article is related to my ongoing dissertation, Pak Yai Iwan. My dissertation is developing Islam content book for English speaking for pesantren students. So this is one of part on my research, Pak. Did I respond you well, Pak Iwan?
Yes, I think. Okay.
Thank you.
Mr. Umar.
Very welcome, Pak. Next. Oh, ke saya nih. But no problem. Mbak Amanda sampai ketawa itu. Tapi
No
Mbak
problem,
Amanda
sir.
kejam
No problem.
ngepotong saya ini tadi.
I'm really sorry, sir. I'm just
No
doing my
problem, no
job.
problem. That's okay, that's okay. Feel
Okay.
free.
Yeah. Okay. So for the Q&A session, there is still like 2 minutes left. If there is more question, I will continue the time.
I am interested in Pak Najib. Kalau the objective of Pak Najib's research, what is the objective, Pak? In my research, the objective is to propose what we call how to teach English and the content of the English. Related to Pak Najib, what is the purpose of the research, Pak?
Oh, the purpose of the research is primarily explores how lecturers' beliefs and experiences shape English language learning in pesantren-based university.
In Wonosobo, ya, Pak?
And it also to ensure that education remains relevant in a rapidly evolving world. So this is only talking about beliefs and experiences. This is answering one of my questions in the dissertation. But
oh, I see.
yes, this is about intercultural language.
This is also in my research, one of my to respond one of my research question in my dissertation.
About intercultural language instruction.
My dissertation title is developing Islam content book, Pak.
Okay, so if you're talking
something
about general view of English instruction, my topic is focusing on intercultural language instruction.
I see.
That's all. Yeah. Yes.
Okay.
Okay. Okay, Mbak Amanda.
Kenal ya, Pak Najib.
Okay, sir. Sorry for interrupting. And maybe that's gonna be the last of our Q&A session. So this is the end of the first parallel session. I congratulate you all for having been successfully presenting the papers. After this, all presenters and participants, please have a break until 12:30 p.m. Let me repeat, 12:30 p.m. Then, the third plenary session with Dr. Angela Cook will start at 12:30 p.m. sharp. Thank you so much. Thank you so much, sir.
Thank you, Mbak Amanda.
Very welcome, Mbak
Assalamualaikum.
Amanda. Stay healthy, stay happy, everyone.
Stay healthy. Assalamualaikum.
Waalaikumsalam.